Now, it's 8 figures, so that could be 10 million or 99 million.
Right.
Correct? That's the 8 figures. And she's going to have her own shoe, which to me, I mean, it's genius to be able to sign her up, because think of all of the girls and women out there who loved Caitlin Clark, going to continue to follow her in the WNBA, and they're going to want to have her shoe.
Did you hear about Caitlin Clark's massive Adidas deal? It's not just about the money. This could change everything for women's sports. But here's the real shocker. Nike's totally silent about their own superstar. What's going on behind the scenes?
For Caitlin Clark, sinking her 86th three-pointer of the season, breaking the WNBA record for the most three-pointers by a rookie in a single season. Congratulations to Caitlin.
Let's talk about Clark's rookie season. Can you believe she became the first player in WNBA history to record a triple-double? And that's not all she hit, over 100 three-pointers in a single season. And this girl is not just breaking records, she's shattering them.
Clark, she could have a line of shoes. That could, be workout shoes, basketball shoes, casual shoes. Yes, Marvin.
And when they come out, the Iowa women and the Iowa men are going to have Caitlin Clark shoes, and the colorway is perfect. It's got the navy blue, the yellow, and the red for the Fever. I mean,
okay.
They're going to have a great commercial.
Now, you might be wondering, what's the big deal with this Adidas contract? Well, it's not just about Clark. This could set a whole new standard for women's sports sponsorships. But here's where it gets really interesting. Nike's been quiet. Too quiet. Why aren't they shouting about their star player from the rooftops?
Why isn't she being promoted, and how did Nike get her at such a reasonable, wasn't it a 22 or 32?
$28 million.
$28 million over 8 years. I'm like, that doesn't add up to me.
I think some of this might be a little bit of revisionist history. Going into we all sat here and argued that she should go back to Iowa.
Yeah.
Because she would die and get swallowed up in the WNBA and everybody would stop watching her. That's when Nike struck.
This story is bigger than basketball. Clark's journey could change the game. For women's sports forever, are we witnessing a revolution? Let's break it down.
Clark's in her first NBA playoffs, first NBA season, and she's wearing Kobe Bryant shoes. They don't even have a shoe for her. And it may not be till 2026, 2027. LeBron James had his own signature shoe his rookie year. So 20 years ago, Nike was nimble enough and had enough vision to see that, hey, let's get LeBron's shoe out here. This guy's going to be a big deal. They can't do this.
Often comes with unexpected twists in this case. It's not just about who's making noise, but who isn't. Nike's silence on Clark's achievements is deafening. What could possibly explain this marketing mystery, and how might it reshape the landscape of women's sports?
There was a Nike ad for Iowa Caitlin, though it wasn't exactly pushed on the public. There has been no Nike commercial for Clark as a pro. Let that sink in. No Caitlin Clark commercial. She's had 4 years of being the biggest star in all of sports, driving all these television ratings. No Nike commercial.
You might think Nike would be shouting from the rooftops about their superstar athlete. But here's the kicker. They haven't said a word about Caitlin Clark since April 7th. Can you believe it? Even after she snagged Rookie of the Year, Nike's been quieter than a mouse in a library.
This year, Caitlin signed an 8-year deal with Nike for up to $28 million. A super cheap contract they'll make a killing off of with a signature shoe. But despite winning unanimous WNBA Rookie of the Year, they've got no plans for a Caitlin Clark shoe. Why not? Well, the official reason from Nike is an obvious lie. What are they hiding?
And fans aren't happy about it. They're taking to social media, asking Nike, where's the love for Caitlin Clark? It's like Nike forgot they have one of the hottest names in basketball on their roster.
a small, minor detail when you have the gold mine that is Caitlin Clark. It seems to me that it is more on the political side as to why Caitlin Clark is not getting the praise, the commercials, the ads, the merch, like all of the things that she should have gotten during this rookie season. Nike hasn't produced one ad or commercial featuring Clark since she turned pro, and despite a signature shoe being part of Nike's agreement with Clark, it may not be released until 2026, according to sports business reporter Ethan Strauss. He reports Nike wants to prioritize A'ja Wilson, and it fears the optics of giving a rookie a signature shoe before an already established star who just won league MVP for the third time.
You're white, you have to stand in line. We're committed to A'ja Wilson. A'ja Wilson's not going to sell a shoe. Period. End of story. With Caitlin Clark, and I'm just going to keep it real, and I know this is embarrassing what I'm about to say. I know it's embarrassing, but I'm going to say it. If Caitlin Clark had a signature shoe, I would wear them.
But here's where it gets really strange. While Nike's been ghosting Clark, they've been busy promoting other athletes. They're out there hyping up A.A. Wilson, which is great. But what about their newest sensation? It's like having a shiny new sports car in your garage and never taking it for a spin.
The ratings, I believe 2 Sundays ago with Caitlin Clark, she drew 1.8 million viewers on an NFL Sunday.
Now, you might be thinking maybe Clark just isn't pulling in the viewers wrong. Her games are drawing massive crowds. We're talking over 1.8 million viewers. For some matchups, that's a lot of eyeballs on Clark, and a lot of missed opportunities for Nike.
She has signed this contract, you guys, and her WNBA season has come and gone. And with that, Nike has not done one thing to promote her. We have not seen any commercials, we have not seen any ads, we have not seen any Caitlin Clark merchandise, and we for sure as hell have not seen any Caitlin Clark signature shoes. It is mind-blowing.
This silent treatment isn't just confusing. It could be downright dangerous for Nike. While they're playing the quiet game, other brands are circling like sharks. Adidas, for example, is making big moves to support female athletes. They're not just talking the talk, they're walking the walk.
I've seen this. This is a woman in America that is going to dwarf the men in terms of popularity and influence, driving. We haven't seen this since Tiger Woods was my argument, that Tiger Woods lifted up the PGA Tour and made it very, very relevant. But this is even more impressive because the PGA Tour had relevance. They had Jack Nicklaus, who's a legitimate star of stars. The WNBA's never had anything.
So what's Nike thinking? Are they asleep at the wheel? Or is there some master plan we're not seeing? Because from where we're sitting, it looks like they're fumbling a golden opportunity. Clark isn't just any player. She's got the potential to be the Tiger Woods of women's basketball. And Nike's letting her achievements slide by without so much as a tweet.
Was first announced, we also got to see the other offers that were on the table for Caitlin Clark, and as you can see, Under Armour offered her 4 years for $16 million, which by a year-by-year basis, she would actually be making more per year if she had signed with Under Armour. However, it was a shorter deal. Under Armour came to her and said that she could be the face of the women's line on the Steph Curry side because her and Steph's game is so similar, and I feel like looking back in retrospect, that might have been the perfect place for Caitlin, because I feel like Under Armour for sure wouldn't have ignored her this entire season and missed out on so many marketing dollars.
This isn't just about one player or one brand. It's about the future of women's sports sponsorships. Nike's silence is creating a vacuum, and nature. Abhor. A vacuum other brands are ready and willing to step up and show female athletes the love and support they deserve, while Nike's been quiet. Adidas has been making some serious noise, but it's not just about the money, it's about respect. What if I told you that one of the biggest names in women's sports history just called Clark a generational talent?
It's being reported that Adidas global ambassador Billie Jean King did a post on her X account praising Caitlin Clark for winning Rookie of the Year, and this sent a firestorm.
That's right. Billie Jean King herself gave Clark the ultimate stamp of approval. And she's not just any sports icon. She's an Adidas ambassador. Coincidence, I think. Not Adidas is playing chess, while others are playing checkers.
She landed a major endorsement deal with Adidas.
But here's where it gets really exciting. Adidas isn't just talking the talk. They're walking the walk, reportedly offering Clark a significant contract. Can you believe it? That's not just a deal. It's a statement that could change everything for women's sports.
When you're a kid, sneakers have magical powers. They can make you run faster, jump higher. I believed it, and so did my kids. Caitlin Clark's sneakers did create magic for one lucky Iowa girl. Blake Hornstein has the story.
Adidas isn't just throwing money at Clark. They're positioning themselves as the brand that truly supports female athletes, while other companies are dragging their feet. Adidas is sprinting ahead. They're not just sponsoring athletes, they're championing them, and fans are noticing. Social media is buzzing with praise for Adidas. People are excited to see a brand that's not afraid to put its money where its mouth is. When it comes to women's sports, it's like Adidas just scored a game-winning three-pointer in the marketing world.
Inked a multi-year sponsorship deal with Wilson, maker of the WNBA's official basketball.
Yeah, so here's what it is. The signature ball will be gold and white. You see it here. It has personalized engravings of the Indiana Fever star. Look at that. That's pretty cool. So Clark will also test, advise, and give feedback on a range of basketball gear for Wilson.
And this is a big deal because the only other athlete to be a brand ambassador for Wilson was Michael Jordan back in the 1980s.
Hello.
So they are really particular about who they want their ambassador to be. Clearly, she's in unique company.
That is wonderful.
Yeah.
And I love to see a woman getting those accolades and the money too, especially when we've all had conversations about WNBA salaries.
Yeah. But let's zoom out for a second. This isn't just about Adidas or Clark. It's about changing the game. For all women in sports, this deal could inspire other brands to step up their game. It's like Adidas just raised the bar, and now everyone else has to jump higher.
Wilson capitalized on Caitlin Clark, and they put out signature Caitlin Clark balls and other merch that literally sold out within minutes of them going live. The hype that Caitlin Clark had going into this season, we will not see that again. She came off of playing in a national championship game that had over 20 million people tuned into that game, then going straight into the draft, and then going straight into the WNBA and breaking an insane amount of records in her rookie season, winning Rookie of the Year. However, it has yet to be officially announced. She had the craziest momentum.
Think about it. If one brand is willing to invest this much in a female athlete, what's stopping others? This could spark a whole new era of sponsorships and support for women's sports. We might look back on this moment as the turning point when everything changed.
This year it's all a little different, and we can thank Caitlin Clark for that. The Indiana Fever set an all-time WNBA attendance record. Folks, throughout this entire season, over 500,000 fans have now watched Caitlin Clark play basketball. Over 500,000 fans have watched Caitlin Clark break record after record after record in her rookie season for the WNBA. The Indiana Fever recently reported that 503,000 visitors have attended the team's 31 home and away games this season.
The ripple effect of Clark's success is reaching far beyond the basketball court. Can you guess how many new fans she's bringing to women's sports? The numbers are staggering, and they're making everyone from team owners to TV executives sit up and take notice.
This is the Hawk Shop in the Memorial Union. It's the official University of Iowa Hawkeye shirt shop. Shirts with the number 22 and Clark sold for both adults and with kids, with the kids' shirts really selling at a hot clip. They keep an eye on the inventory because they're always ordering more shirts to sell. Next week, a very special shirt could be released to commemorate the NCAA scoring record.
Clark's impact on the WNBA has been nothing short of revolutionary. We're talking about a player who's not just breaking records. She's shattering expectations. Her games are drawing crowds like never before. We're seeing attendance numbers that would make some men's teams seem jealous in merchandise. Let's just say Clark jerseys are flying off the shelves faster than you can say triple-double.
Now that Clark is headed to Indiana, many people may be swapping out their Hawkeye gear for Fever clothing. Dick's Sporting Goods was ready to go right away Monday night. Just minutes after Clark was picked, stores rolled out Caitlin Clark Indiana and Fever jerseys and t-shirts. We caught it all on video. Staff at the Cedar Rapids location say throughout Clark's time on the court, they're trying to stay stocked with Hawkeye merchandise. And they say her popularity is not diminishing anytime soon.
And then it's just been nonstop orders coming in still today of just the regular black t-shirt.
But here's where it gets really interesting. Clark's influence isn't just about filling seats and selling jerseys. She's changing the way people think about women's sports. Young girls are picking up basketballs and dreaming. Big parents are tuning in to games with their kids. Even casual sports fans are starting to pay attention to the WNBA.
Some of the numbers here. When we talk about league attendance, the Indiana Fever, all right, with Caitlin Clark, led the league in attendance both home and on the road. 17,035 at home, 15,000 on the road. Attendance for the entire league up nearly 50% this year, according to data across the timeline. And Indiana leads all teams with an average attendance of, like I said, of 17,035. Merchandise sales are up 450%.
That's not all. Now you might be thinking, surely it's all sunshine and roses for Clark. Right. Well, not exactly, despite her incredible success. Clark's been vocal about some of the challenges she's facing in the WNBA. She's feeling the heat on the court, and not just from the competition.
You're going to get caught for some technical fouls. She struggled with physical defense she's faced at the professional level and voiced frustration with the league's officiating, recently telling reporters, quote, "I feel like I'm getting hammered and everybody is physical with me, and opponents get away with things that other people don't get away with." That's what Caitlin Clark said.
That is her second. Put Caitlin Clark to the stripe. Oh yeah, that's a foul. Alicia.
Al Clark's been open about her frustrations with the physical play and officiating in the league. She said, "I feel like I'm getting hammered opponents get away with things that others don't." Can you imagine? Here's a player who's rewriting the record books, and she's feeling like she's not getting a fair shake on the court too far down the line.
Too far down the line. I don't know what I'm going to do tomorrow. I don't know what I'm going to do the next day. So
that the single season assist record in the WNBA, the most prolific passer in WNBA history. She is now the all-time rookie leader in points, assists, and three-pointers. There is exceeding expectations, and then there is whatever Caitlin Clark continues to do in her rookie season in the WNBA. She has taken every bar set for her and gone over it, and that is ridiculously impressive. Caitlin Clark is making a lot of people look silly thinking that it would have taken more time than this, and instead she is right where she was supposed to be and then some.
But here's the thing. Clark's journey isn't just about her, it's shining a spotlight on some big issues in women's sports. Her success is forcing brands and the sports industry to take a hard look at how they support and recognize female athletes. The disparities in marketing and sponsorship are becoming harder to ignore when you've got a superstar like Clark, lighting up the scoreboard.
And she's growing the game in what some are calling the Caitlin Clark effect. Camille Gear has more from Iowa City.
One looking. There's Clark. She fires. She hit it!
Ask any little girl in the stands at Carver Hawkeye.
Who's your favorite player on the team?
You'll get the same answer. Probably Caitlin Clark. Over. Caitlin Clark. And over again. Caitlin Clark. Everywhere the junior plays, attendance is up. Not by the hundreds, but by the thousands.
And it's not just about a basketball. Clark's becoming a symbol of something bigger. She's inspiring fans and young athletes across all sports. She's showing that women's sports can be just as exciting, just as competitive, and just as worthy of attention as men's sports.
Just the WNBA, you know, if you want us to be here, you have to pay us more. It's business, it's how it works, and that's all that.
Vegas tourism officials say they have aces up their sleeve when it comes to creative marketing plans for members of the two-time defending WNBA champions.
Members of the Las Vegas Aces insist they had no idea that Las Vegas tourism leaders on Friday were set to offer $100,000 sponsorship deals for each player.
And we want to recognize
that's a nice payday in a league where the average salary is just over $100,000 per season. Essentially, the Las Vegas Convention and Visitors Authority is wanting to hire the Aces as ambassadors for the city.
But here's the real question. Is this the turning point we've been waiting for? Are we finally seeing brands recognize the true value of women's sports, or is this just a one-off? The future of women's sports might just depend on how brands answer these questions. What do you think?